Hi, I'm Fran Marie, and today I'm going to talk to you all about my top 10 financial mistakes. We've all made our fair share of financial mistakes, and today I'm going to give you all the details about mine. Hopefully, this can help you to avoid those same financial mistakes. Okay, so let's get right into it. Number one, treating my student loan like it was free money. My first financial mistake is having treated my student loan when I was at university as though it was free money. Although I was able to pay for my tuition, pay for my accommodation, and pay for my food, I did end up buying quite a lot of clothes I didn't really need and spending quite a lot of money on going out. I mean, if you've been a student in the UK, you know Freshers Week is a big thing and people do spend some money on going out in that week. And to be honest, I didn't spend too much, but I still regret treating my student loan like it was free money that I didn't have to pay back. The second financial mistake I'm going to talk about is not learning to invest sooner. So, when I was in my early 20s, I would hear a bit of a buzz around investing, but I didn't really take it in or try and find out what it was all about. So, that's one of my regrets because I really wish I'd learned about investing sooner. Because once you start investing, you realise that you probably could have done it sooner. And the saying goes, time in the market beats timing the market. And so it's really something that I wish I'd started to learn about sooner. It wasn't really something that was talked about amongst my friends or family, so I had to learn about it by myself really. And I realised it's not as difficult as you think, and I was able to learn everything that I know from reading books, watching YouTube videos, and reading articles on the internet. So it really is easier than you think. It really is a lot easier than I thought it would be. And for that reason, it's my second financial mistake because I just really wish that I'd learnt about it sooner and figured out what it was all about. My third financial mistake is staying in a job for too long. I mean, we've all done it. You get comfortable in a job and you decide to stay there for longer than you should. I've found it with jobs that I haven't particularly enjoyed, but I've decided to stay there because it was in some ways easier to stay. But you realise that although it's comfortable to stay, there are actually lots of benefits to moving on if the job isn't right for you. If you don't enjoy the job and you're not getting the financial compensation that you need from the job, then there's no reason not to look for something else. And there are definitely benefits to switching companies or finding a new role. There's a statistic that says that those who move companies every 2 years or so have a much higher salary on average than those who stay in the same company for a high number of years. So that's why that's my third financial mistake, and I definitely think there are benefits to moving on if it's not right for you. My fourth financial mistake is spending my salary at the place where I worked. Now, this is another one that many of us have probably done in the past. I know that I've had a job at a fashion retail store and I did end up spending quite a lot of my salary in the store buying new clothes. The same thing happened when I worked at a supermarket. When I was in Australia, I worked at a supermarket in a very small outback town, and it turned out it was the only supermarket in the town, so therefore I had to spend my salary there. I had to buy my groceries from there, and it was very expensive. But seeing as it was the only store in town, I couldn't go anywhere else. Now, everyone has to buy their groceries from somewhere, but I think it helps if you can get a staff discount or if you can buy from a cheaper store. But that's my fourth financial mistake. Okay, on to mistake number 5. Mistake number 5 is buying liabilities instead of assets. So I've definitely bought some expensive clothes and some expensive handbags in my time, but these things are liabilities rather than assets. But there's a meme that says, "Where's all your money gone?" And the character says, "I'm either wearing it or I ate it." And I think that's so true. I think there's nothing wrong with buying nice things, but you should just be aware that you're never going to get that money back. You can also think about the cost per wear of an item. So if it's a high price item, you can think about how much wear are you going to get out of it, how much is it going to cost per wear. And some handbags can actually be surprisingly good investments. Some Birkin bags can sell for a lot more than their original sale price. I think this one really applies well to thinking about new cars, because if you buy a new car, they say that by the time you've driven it away, you've already lost quite a lot of the value of the car. So that's something to think about, and maybe consider buying a used car instead. But we all do it, and I definitely still like to buy nice things sometimes. Okay, so we're halfway through. So let's get on to the 6th financial mistake. My 6th financial mistake is not getting a credit card sooner. Now, growing up, I was always told that credit is bad, and if you can't afford it, you shouldn't buy it. And that's still very much true for me. But I didn't know that if used correctly, it can actually be an asset, and it's necessary for many things in life, even from just getting a phone contract or getting a rental agreement or getting a mortgage. You really need your credit history. I wish I'd known that sooner. On the other hand, I definitely think it was a benefit for me not getting a credit card at a young age, when I might not have realised the implications of not paying on time or things like that. But that being said, I just wish that I'd started building my credit history a little bit sooner than I did. Because credit cards, if used correctly, can be really beneficial, and you really do need them for many things in life. Okay, so we're on to financial mistake number 7. So, financial mistake number 7 is not having an emergency fund. So, this is my 7th financial mistake because it makes it difficult when unexpected expenses arise if you don't have an emergency fund. So, I wish that at some points in the past I'd had an emergency fund to fall back on. Nowadays, I make sure that I keep an emergency fund, but at some points in the past I didn't, and I think it's important to do that. So, an emergency fund could be as small or as large as you like, but it's usually enough to cover 3 to 6 months of expenses, and it can just be really helpful if any kind of unexpected situation arises that you need to spend money on. So, financial mistake number 8 is linked to one of the previous financial mistakes, and this is working in a job to further someone else's dream. So, a lot of times as an employee, you're working really hard for someone else's dream, and you can end up putting your own dreams aside or in second place. Many of us can spend all day working really hard at our jobs and then come home and feel like you don't have the time or the energy to put into furthering your dream. So that's financial mistake number 8, and it's not working on my own goals enough. So my financial mistake number 9 is signing up to subscriptions for things and forgetting to cancel them. I bet this is something that we've all done before. So I'll sign up to subscriptions or free trials or things that I don't really need, and often I'll forget to cancel them and end up paying month on month for something that I don't really need. So there are lots of examples of these, but to name a few, it will be TV subscription services or food subscription services. I'm all for them if they add to your life or enrich you. I know I've had food subscription services in the past that I've really liked. I'm just talking about those that you don't really like anymore, but you just keep them anyway. So after this video, I'm going to go and check all my subscriptions and see if there are any that I don't need anymore, and I think you should do the same. Let me know how you get on. Okay, so now for the 10th and final mistake on this list. My last financial mistake is signing up for a bank account because of the perks. Now, I'm all for perks, and I signed up for the current account that I have now and I've always had. I signed up for that because I got a free rail card when I signed up for it as a student, and I just kept it going. I was happy to receive the free rail card as a student. Whilst I don't dislike the bank, I think it's worth looking around. So that's why it's financial mistake number 10. And if you do have problems, there's no need to just stay with them because of the perks. So that's it for today's video. Thank you for watching. Thank you for sticking around till the end. Comment down below if you found it useful and give it a like, and I'll see you next time.